Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of 80's Pilot Rewind. We're here this week. We're going to be visiting the pilot episode of Captain Planet. Speak up, Heart Brother. Who we got?
Yeah.
Oh, Eric, you're the Heart Brother?
I'm the Heart Brother. That was like in high school.
Heart Brother.
Hey, Heart Brother. And what do we call you? Russian water person? Was the water person the Russian?
No, what was there's
That was
water was Japan?
water. Yeah, water. No, water was
Lena?
Linka.
Linka. Something
Yeah,
like that.
she was Soviet Union.
It's so clearly
Eastern
it's
Europe.
been a little bit for I think each of us. I don't know how recently any of us watched
I know there's
Captain Planet.
air, there's wind, water,
Yep.
fire,
Earth.
earth, and heart.
Fire, wind, water, heart.
Five of those, like a ring for each finger. I don't know.
Mhm.
But this, I would say, like, I enjoyed watching Captain Planet when I would catch it. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
one I would go out of my way necessarily to watch, but whenever I flipped over to it, I was like, oh shit, Captain Planet.
Yep.
So,
Who did
Bracho,
time?
you said this was created by Ted Turner, the
Well, it
Ted
was
Turner from Turner.
Co-created. Yeah, so it's like I'm sure it's like she came to, because Barbara Pyle was the main creator. It was created by her and Ted Turner. I'm sure, and then developed by her and a group of people. I'm sure she brought it to him, and he was like, "Okay, well, whatever." It was originally it's called Captain Planet and the Planeteers originally, and actually had two. So there was like the OG Captain Planet and the Planeteers ran from 1990 to 1992, and then Hanna-Barbera took over production and did the New Adventures of Captain Planet that ran from 93 to 96. So you'll get some voice actor changes and stuff, like, for instance, Gaia in the first 3 seasons is voiced by Whoopi Goldberg.
Really?
Whoa.
But then in season 4 through 6, she's voiced by Margot Kidder.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I mean, like, your Planeteers stay the same. Like, probably the most well-known out of the Planeteers voice actors is LeVar Burton. He voiced Kwame.
I also did not know that. Wow, that would have been
Yep.
maybe one I would have recognized on the rewatch, but that's cool.
The guy who voiced Robin in the 2000s Teen Titans show, he's the voice of Mati.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Scott Menville. You also have, like, so there's the character Hoggish Greedley, who's voiced by Ed Asner,
Wow.
and his henchman Rigger is voiced by John Ratzenberger.
Yes. Ham.
Verminous Gum, who was a rat-like human, he was voiced in season 1 was voiced by Jeff Goldblum.
What?
Yep, and then for season 2 through 5, voiced by Maurice LaMarche.
Oh,
Wow.
dude, I love Maurice LaMarche. Yes.
There's a character named Duke Nukem.
Hello.
It was originally voiced by someone named Dean Stockwell.
I'm
for
gonna
the
rip
first
off
3
your
seasons.
head and shit down your
And then,
neck.
yeah,
I'm
and then
just a teenager.
Maurice LaMarche also voiced him.
Wait, you
season
said
4
Dean
through 5.
Stockwell. Dean Stockwell from Blue Velvet?
Dean Stockwell. Yes,
Wow.
I think so.
The candy-colored clown, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I remember hearing about Captain Planet.
What do you
Nukem's
think,
henchman
Dean?
was voiced by Frank Welker, who also voices Mati's
Yeah.
monkey.
Wait, who is Frank Welker voice?
Leadsuit, who's Duke Nukem's henchman, but he also voices
Oh.
the monkey that
Leadsuit.
Mati has.
What about Captain Planet himself? Was that like anybody?
Doctor. Oh, sorry. I was just.
Doctor?
He is.
Doctor?
Doctor David Coburn. David Coburn is his name. That's
Which
his
sounds
main.
familiar.
The owner of
Acting
Coburn's?
Yeah. No, his main acting credit is Captain Planet. And then Dr. Barbara Blight is voiced by Meg Ryan. From
What the
90
hell?
to 91, and then
I'll have what she's had.
Mary Kay Bergman from 92 to 96. Yeah, like it's a lot of
That is stacked.
Like,
This is the most stacked
Sly. Wait,
we've fucking
Sly.
seen a show, dude.
Sly Sludge unscrupulous waste collector. He's voiced by Martin Sheen in seasons 1 through 3.
What's going on?
And then Jim Cummings for season 4 through 5.
But
One of Sludge's henchmen named Ooze. He's voiced by Cam Clark.
Good God.
Wow.
There we go. Liquid.
Another one.
Not ooze anymore.
Another one
I'm
of-
liquid.
Yeah. Another one of Sludge's henchmen is voiced by Frank Welker as well. There's a guy named Zarm, who is a former spirit of Earth, who left Gaia in search of other worlds and ended up destroying several planets,
Good Lord.
backing Gaia to balance out his methods. He represents war and destruction. He was voiced by Sting, the musician,
Fade
from
Ralph.
1990 through 92.
Yeah.
David Warner
The
from
backup was
92.
that Tanrak.
And then
He's fulfilling his
Malcolm
destiny.
McDowell. Malcolm McDowell took over
What
the
the
role
fuck,
for
dude?
93 through
God.
95.
All
So
right.
yeah, like there's a lot of people that come through this.
Well, it's not only that. It's
Crazy.
you just pointed out like a trend of like, hey, let's get a celebrity name, and then they get replaced with like a pretty big name in voice acting.
Yeah, so it's
Like-
like the big celebrity ones are on the first, 3 seasons or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. And then when it becomes a Hanna-Barbera production, then it kind of switches over to more voice actor types. But they go through different, not all of them end at the end of the first one and pick up at the second one, but there are quite a few that do.
My mind has been like blown by all this.
Yeah, I
No,
Dude, yeah, it's
just
crazy.
just the stat cast already puts it into like I want to watch some of these episodes with those people in them just to
Yeah.
see what it was like.
Right?
Yeah, that's great. You guys ready to jump in to watch some of it?
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
I am.
I'm in
Yes.
for some edutainment, dude. Let's do it.
Our world is in peril. Gaia, the spirit of the earth, can no longer stand the terrible
Some
destruction
ecotainment.
plaguing our
His coconut guns will fire and burst. He shoots ya. It's gonna
It's
hurt.
gonna hurt.
This dog has a funny face.
That's what I was waiting for. Some
Yeah.
Deke, dude. Some good old Deke. Well,
Bake.
wow, that was a fun time. I enjoyed that
That was-
one. It was
Unlike the other ones, too, it was a complete adventure. You know what I mean? Didn't
Did it-
require
yeah,
a
it
part
felt-
2.
it felt more complete. Yeah.
Oh my
There
gosh!
was no
Can you
part 2?
imagine if this required a part 2?
That's what I'm saying. When we started watching it, I was like, okay, so where's it? If there's gonna be a part 2, where is it gonna end? I was like, are we gonna get like them getting their rings? Are they gonna get their rings and then get caught in a situation they can't handle, and then that's gonna pick up in the next episode? But no, it was a full episode,
Full episode.
full goddamn episode.
Really basic structure. Got everything
Yep.
done beat by beat. We know what's going on.
work.
We know the characters. We know the plight of the heroes. We know the
It
motivations
moves in
of
a
the
clip.
bad guys.
It moves at at a good pace.
Yeah.
Batman Batman steal oil, wake up, and causes
Tinkle-
pollution.
tinkle
Wakes
on
up spirit
Oopsie.
of Earth. She's like, I can't have this,
She's
and then
so-
she get some youngins.
she's
Gives some youngins from different parts of the world. Gives them rings that allow them to control different elements, and then it's like, fucking do it. And then if you can't do it, summon the big man, and then that's what they do.
Or
You know what I mean?
decision making all around.
Yeah, it's basically
I
like
don't know, man.
the embodiment of Earth is like it wakes up and is like, you know what? I can't deal with this. I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
I'll just have some kids do it.
Also have some children do it.
The part that I'm now getting
the-
like weirded out about is
Thematically, it's like, sorry, continue.
no, go for it. Thematically,
I was just saying thematically, it's the in the meta commentary of it is it's in the youth's hands to take back and save the environment, right? That's what the. But yeah, sorry. What were you gonna say, Wilson?
well, the part that I'm now like looking back and feeling not so great about Gaia and doing what she does is she doesn't go through any process of like, who's it gonna be? Who am I gonna give these powers to? She's already got like 5 teenagers that she's got in mind, and she knows them by name, and that's weird.
Right.
It's like, how long you been watching these kids?
Well,
Why?
especially since he just woke up from sleeping for a century.
Yeah, you've been
I
doing
think she
this in
just
your
knows.
sleep.
I
You've been
think it-
watching these kids.
I think there's some omniscience involved. There's a lot of just kind of dancing around things in this, and just like what does and doesn't happen.
A lot of things completely left unsaid, and just like, hey,
Yeah.
The rings
this-
were made. The rings were forged before the kids probably were born.
yeah, 9 for the
They're
kings
all
of
just
men, 5 for the dwarves. I know, 3 for the elves.
They're all like from continents too. Just like we got Kwame from Africa, we got Guy from Asia, we got Mati from South America, you got
South
Linka from the
America.
Soviet Union. You've got fucking Wheeler from North America. One's like, okay,
I was just a kid from Brooklyn, and now I'm in a ship.
What's going on
Exactly.
here? Who are
Yeah,
you
how did-
people?
but it's
How does Gaia have like just a random freaking aviation machine just sitting around that it was like,
just stuck them, teleport them, give them the
I
good
just-
suck.
what? I'm talking about the
Give 'em
yellow,
all
the yellow
plane.
plane thing that they fly
I
around.
thought
Like,
you were talking about them, just her just teleporting them.
well, she's the spirit of Earth. She can do whatever the
Yeah.
fuck she wants, you know.
Well, maybe she's Spirit Earth, so maybe she can just make a plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the part that's incongruous.
She
incongruous
has
to me.
she
It's
has a
like,
tech like company now.
she's got a freaking master's in mechanical engineering.
She's got a view screen, you know. She's got modern housing, you know.
And then it's just funny that, like, yeah, Wheeler's even like, hey, how come you get the drive? She's like, excuse me, do you have a driver's license? It's like,
Yeah.
do you? And does that make any difference?
My favorite, like, in this part is when they're like, oh no, when like the Hoggish Greedley is played by Ed Asner, is making their ship go down, and they're like, Wheeler, you know, we're gonna need you, and he's like, all right, fire, and it just needs it to kick off the side panel of the thing for some reason.
Yeah, she's like, Wheeler, destroy this door with
Yeah.
fire when we're covered in oil.
Right there, it's just like,
And
what?
nobody stops and is like, hold on, that's a terrible decision.
Wheeler, do that. He's like, oh, okay. You want me to do it? You want me to? Okay. Why does he need to do that? Why can't she wind it off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like depressurize the cabin and just like pop it off.
Well, she had
Yeah,
to
but-
like get him to open the door, or like, you know, she needed access to outside because otherwise it implies that like if she tried to use her wind stuff, it would just happen in the plane.
What did she call him too? Like you like dog? You
Well, she said she calls him like something imperial at some point.
Imperial
Imperialist
dog.
fake-
But she doesn't call him a dog.
Imperialist
She doesn't say
fake-
dog.
You got it, Brewski-tooski.
You got it, Rootsky Tootski.
Dooski.
But like, yeah, that's a very big like weakness of the ring is that if you can't even use it through like something you can see through, if a window will block the power of Gaia's ring, that's
But I think it's just they're I don't know if it gets better as it goes along, but I think they're just trying to think of ways to have each of them use their rings.
absolutely. Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, how could we have so and so use the ring in this situation? So and so use theirs in that. So some of them come off pretty janky and like whatever, but you know, it's the first one, so maybe it gets better. I don't know. I'm
And
sure
there
there's still
was-
some janky ass ones.
Yeah, there was that bit that in this sequence too, where Linka uses her ring then to like, you know, help keep the ship afloat, and then she starts getting like
Yeah.
tired. But they never
Yeah,
talk
tired,
about like,
it.
oh, this like feels like
Does
it's
this drain
taking
energy
some of my
from it?
energy. Yeah, it never.
Yeah.
It just. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's weak-willed.
She just has she's got narcolepsy.
There
Yeah.
you go. Everybody
Gaia
has an
made a-
issue.
Gaia made a poor choice by choosing people with debilitating illnesses.
Yeah.
Well, going back to like the X-Men type thing, where it's like you see that with like Jean or whatever, where she's like using her power and she's using it so much of it that it, you know, tires her out and takes her out. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of the same thing, but they don't set up that stakes that like, is the ring drawing off your own power, your own energy, and like if you use it too much, do you get tired? Like, what's the situation?
And again, like you said, like with this being the pilot, that might be something that like within the next few episodes they start to cover some of this stuff of like, hey,
Right.
can't use it too much or it's gonna make you tired, or I just
Right. Or they just abandon it or something.
Yeah.
I suppose they have to give some sort of stake, so they're just not constantly using it. You know what I mean? But whether they explain it or not, there's our boy right there,
Yeah.
fucking the dope mullet.
it I feel like I remember him wearing boots or like having something on below the little shorts there.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to
Maybe
have
he does.
gloves and not boots.
Yeah, it's like he just feels
Well, it
bare.
looks like
from...
he has boots. It looks like he has boots.
What do you mean? It looks like he has boots.
He doesn't have toes. He's got
Yeah,
boots.
That doesn't help.
Yeah, his weird like pale blue or like
Could just be like a.
what color is his skin supposed to be?
Silver.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's like a silverish white, but
Because he glistens, you know. He like
It's like
he's
fluid
shiny.
though too, right?
when he forms from the rings, he like gets created out of like diamond and then
Oh,
solidifies
yeah,
into a
maybe
man shape.
he turns into all the different
Me
like
too, dude.
forms of
Me
the
too.
elements. He's rock hard, dude.
Yeah, I become
Yeah, so he
diamonds
got
in a
boots.
man shape.
Look at it just getting drilled right there.
Ah, that smear frame of terror right there. Good God.
Good smear frame of hair. Such a good.
Ah,
I love this, dude. Like this is such a,
fuck.
the last thing you see is this blue. Like you're like, what is he? Is that dude made out of diamond? He's flying at me, and he's got green mullet, and then he's crushing the
Yep.
little cab that you're in, and like, you shouldn't have done this today.
That's
Like,
me. I bet
for
you're
work,
wondering
dude.
how I got here.
Yeah.
Right.
Today's the day I should have called out for work. I knew it. Would be getting crushed to death by this weird deity.
And he opens this not door just by like lifting it up. Like, dude,
Yeah, dude.
And then he's gonna like rip his arms off or something. I would be terrified.
yeah, same here.
What-
This
It's
crazy
He just has a
diamond man shows
dude's
up.
Body too. He's just a dude. He's not overly muscular. He's just a guy.
He just has a dude's body. That's such a good way of putting it.
Just a lean
Yeah.
man.
Just a guy. Just a lean man.
Yeah, but these days he definitely would be like freaking yoked or something.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like, oh, I'm Captain Planet. I'm solid as the Earth, baby.
Yeah.
And he gets poop on him, and then the kids have to save the day by
Just
throwing
oil.
water.
Splashing water on him.
Toxic
so
waste is what he calls it.
So
Which is-
his globe thing on his chest can absorb sunlight, I guess.
That's a great pause too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come
He's
back to
trying-
life, Captain.
He's straining his back, like straining his muscles, trying to lift him up right now.
This guy's made of diamonds.
But it's weird that like that's such a weak, like that's a very big weakness. Is the second that he gets like maybe some dirty mud on him, he's like, oh, frail me. He
Get
like
some oil.
he needs a fainting couch.
Oh dear.
There's like an evil version of him in the future episodes called Captain Pollution.
Oh yeah.
Pretty tight.
Whoa,
Yeah.
is that a bizarro version of him?
Yeah. Same voice actor and everything, but just a bad version of him.
And he has a goatee.
Oh,
Or he,
and
he doesn't have a mullet?
Yeah, that'd be great.
or like
It's
I-
longer in the front than it is in the back.
I want to put down. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. I want to put down like $5 and bet you that like, oh, Captain Pollution in one episode like poses as Captain Planet because they look
Oh, yeah.
similar
Got
enough,
it, dude.
and the Planeteers like are so fucking stupid that they're just like, you're acting strange, Captain.
So
Right.
is there another like issue with
There's
like
a dark
ring?
Yeah, a dark group of rings held by the different bad guys from this show
tight?
that form Captain Pollution.
What do they pollute or like shoot out of their rings? Like
Heart
disease.
yeah, heart disease, heart attack.
Gingivitis.
Yeah, this ring gives you gingivitis.
So, Captain Pollution, evil counterpart. So Dr. Blight steals the Planeteers ring and creates polluting duplicates of them with the opposite powers. So Duke Nukem has a super radiation ring, the counterpart of
Whoa.
fire.
Whoa.
Loot and Plunder has a deforestation ring,
Oh,
counterpart of Earth. Sly Sludge has a smog ring, counterpart of wind. And Verminous Scum has a toxic ring, counterpart of water. And Dr. Blight has a hate ring, counterpart of heart.
A hate ring, dude? That sounds badass.
He turns
It's
it on
Captain-
and yeah.
Captain
Fuck you.
Pollution resembles Captain Planet, but has pale yellow skin, covered with brown lesions and red hair and eyes, and wears a costume similar to his, except that the globe on his chest is torn in the middle.
Dope. So he's like
reverse Flash.
shit and piss.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What deep lore. Like, and I just remember visually some of these bad guys. Like I remember, I don't know who it would be, but there's somebody that's like a green, maybe skeleton face or like a green face on a screen. Is that maybe the henchman of the lady with the like white streak in her hair? You know what I mean?
Dr. Blight.
Was that Dr. Blight, or was that are they
That's
are
the lady.
they like separate characters?
The lady is Dr. Blight.
Ah, well, I definitely remember her. Yeah, and I think she had like a computer henchman or something like that.
Another great
Yeah,
pause
makes
here.
sense.
Getting some
Oh gosh,
kisses by a wet water dog.
this was fun though. Yeah, like again,
Yeah, this was a good time. I enjoyed it.
like give me a little sampling.
A little scrambling.
Give me a scramble.
Have they remastered this or like done like any like updated version of
I don't know.
this?
Well, so this is one of those that, though a lot of people know of it, it hasn't really been, there hasn't been new ones over the decades, really. There's been, comic books and stuff. Like I said, there's a new one coming out. There's been the threat of a live-action movie for a long time.
The threat.
I mean,
Better
like,
watch your ass.
Hey, you better watch yourself, or
there's
we'll make a Captain.
Yeah.
Watch it, Exxon.
Was it Funny or Die that did the Captain Planet one with?
Oh yeah,
So?
Don
Don
Cheadle. Yeah,
Which is
Yeah.
amazing.
That's great.
yeah. He's
So, I mean,
he's like I can't be bothered. Like
Yeah.
fuck this.
Otherwise, outside of those things, it hasn't been a really present property. You know what I mean? As much as even like Voltron has, or some of these other shows we've watched.
Mhm.
Well, it's kind of become now like I don't know that it would be as easy to have something like this going.
No.
Like I feel like the environmentalism has become a little bit like divisive, where people with the whole like either you believe in global warming or you don't or whatever. Like
Yeah, it's
That's
become
kinda
super
true.
politicized.
yeah, it would be tough without it having it also have like
Yeah.
some other element to it, maybe because it's
Right.
even the Paw Patrol is like they try to do some of that where it's like they have characters that they advocate for like not polluting and doing things but it's not as overt as this, and definitely the PSAs at the end of the episodes feel very like archaic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So many of those '80s shows with the special messages at the end that G.I. Joe had them. This had them.
I guess I'll be curious to see how, like, because I think a comic book is a great way to give this like enough room to explore some of this other stuff where you don't have to have it be as like Saturday morning-ish,
Right.
where you have to fit everything into 22 minutes and wrap it up, or like sometimes you get two-parters, but they can do more to explore outside of just the most overt.
You can give it an actual story.
Yeah, so maybe that will reflect back on like what additional depth could be found in this property, because it's unique enough,
On that cover for the comic book too, I like how, in addition to his '80s mullet, he's got a sick '90s goatee.
Captain Pollution looks like he's a captain of like some kind of disease, like
Herpes.
herpes. Yeah, smallpox.
Captain Syphilis.
Yeah,
It's the pollution, dude.
he looks so
It's
gross.
the pollution of the
I guess.
of the groin. Yeah.
I guess he has a whole ass beard, not a '90s goatee. God damn it!
Yeah, I'd say this one's.
But he's got
decent.
rock shoulders, dude.
This is kind of the first one that's more obviously 90s era.
Yeah.
But yeah, a striking jump in like quality of like storytelling too, after the pushing of like a toy line plus a show with like G.I. Joe, Transformers, all those cartoons. But like this one is the first one where it's like it's good quality storytelling and animation. Like the animation was pretty on par with like what I've come to like have fond memories for in like the 90's.
Yeah, good enough
Right.
storytelling.
Yeah, and the other things I liked was the pacing of it. It didn't seem like it was breakneck speed. It was like I could follow it pretty well. The other ones, like, it was sort of jarring, except for Turtles. I guess Turtles had that kind of It was along this same vein with the pacing and getting to know everything. And that one was a two-parter, right?
Right.
Turtles?
Yeah, Turtles. The first, the
Yeah,
first one we
Turtles
watched.
I think so. Yeah.
And that was the deal with like Thundercats and Silverhawks, I think, too, and Voltron.
But this like, yeah, it's just funny, like, looking back, that this reminds me of that whole start of the era of the 90's where you'd have like white tigers and posters of panda bears, and like there was just such a big presence of like
Zoo
ecological
books. Yeah, remember Zoo books?
mindfulness. Yeah, in zoo books, and just like like recycling. There was a big push for all this, and it just felt like Captain Planet was very much hit at the perfect time to be either starting to be on that wave or riding the coattails, or just like caught up in that.
Yeah, whatever happened to that like kind of lukewarm propaganda when we were kids, where it's like we get all these like Shaq, who's like, read, and he's like reading a book, and all it says is a poster. On the poster it just says read. And then like we get this kind of drip feeding, hey, take good care of, your garbage and shut off lights when you're not in the room, and
Right.
it's not like bad stuff. It's just like good things to do, because I don't want to see litter in my yard and all this crap. Like, it's the type of nudging to like do nice things around your neighborhood or whatever. It didn't feel as ham-fisted maybe as some other things maybe. But whatever happened to that, like, where did that go?
Where did what go?
Like that idea, like, I don't see that in stuff we see. Like you said, Paw Patrol, it's kind of hidden. There's layers upon layers of other things, and there's like just hints that they're doing some kind of ecological or like helpfulness to, hey, we fixed this dam.
Well, it's exactly they're just trying to avoid any blatant things, so then they don't catch shit from whatever. It's like with Twisters. Like if you saw Twisters, they were talking about how like, with how the weather patterns have changed drastically. For like, they talk about like global warming without saying global warming, because they know a large chunk of their audience is going to be that kind of Midwest, Midwest right leaning, whatever, that doesn't necessarily maybe believe in that. So then they put it in there, but they don't put it blatantly and go hard on it, because they know, like, they're just kind of playing it safer,
Yeah,
there's also maybe a bit of a shift where it's like, there's maybe a certain amount of like earnestness that is just not as in the it's a little bit faux pas maybe to be like that, wearing it on your sleeve.
It's a little cheesy.
Exactly. It's to be that direct with your messaging that is maybe considered cheesy or campy or outdated by this point. So you have to hide it behind a layer of comedy or sarcasm or something else, as to not just be like, hey, I don't know.
You're probably right. I think it's a combo of both you guys' explanations
and more for sure. Yeah.
Well, there's this movie that came out recently that was also like along the same vein, or it probably came out during the run of Twisters, the Wild Robot movie. Have you guys seen that?
Oh yeah.
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
The Wild Robot.
It was at the end of the year last year.
Yeah. There's the same kind of messaging where this robot lands on this like secluded island, in like the Pacific Northwest, like just off the coast of like San
He's not-
Diego or like yeah, you know, where the Golden Gate Bridge is basically.
Oh yeah.
Just further away from like Alcatraz and all
That's
that
what I
stuff.
call my
I
paint.
knew it. I fucking.
But in that movie, towards the end, like the robot that crashes on this secluded island starts learning the animal language and like
Right.
understands animals, and then wants to get off of this island to go back to its manufacturer. You know, it's learned all this crazy data that the manufacturer now wants to harness. And then when they take a trip over to where the hub is, it's they fly over the Golden Gate Bridge and it's completely underwater, and there's like whales swimming over the bridge, and
Oh, yeah.
you see like just that kind of area. You can tell like the oceans have risen dramatically, and it's not telling you like what happened. It's just showing you the causes of a crazy catastrophe like global warming, what it could do, and things like that. It didn't like beat you over the head with like a message
Right.
to that. It's just it kept on the main plot of the robot going to this place and then trying to get back to the animals. And I'd recommend watching it. It's a great film, but like it does have those hints in it also, like that little subliminal kind of beat where it's like, oh my gosh, oh, it's in the far future. Well, I don't have to worry about that right now. It's not that pressing.
Right.
We obviously have robots that help us do whatever now, so that's great. I'll just wait for that to happen. But yeah, I agree that it's now, in this day and age, it's fighting the politicians that are gonna like ostracize you and like not give you funding, or like tell their other people to like not pay the people who pay you because your messaging is off their narrative, or you know, and it's campy and cheesy, and you don't want to be put in this position where it's like, well, I have this great idea, but it's really like it's kind of forcing them to make a change in Congress to, you know, pollution or whatever. You can't really
Right.
do that nowadays. It's too difficult to propose that because you're gonna get so much backlash and from all sides because of how instant our news is now. Back then in the 90s, news took a bit to, you know, get to you. Now it's just, you go
Yeah,
online,
this was
everything's
more
there.
a time where it was just, you know, turn on, like they were saying at the end, like turn off your lights. Don't, you know, if it's close, ride your bike. You know, like it was just like it's little, you know, recycle stuff. It's not big like a lot of things are now with this stuff, and yeah, more simpler.
You better carpool.
Yeah.
We have maybe one or two more
Yep.
of these to do, and then we're gonna
We
get
got
into
Mask
the ranking.
And Space Rangers or something, Space Guardian, some
Galaxy Rangers, right?
Galaxy Rangers.
Yeah. After those two, we're gonna get to ranking all of these. So stay tuned for us to get to that point, because I think it's gonna be. Actually, I don't want to make predictions, but I have a good feeling where I can put things kind of right now. It is all over the board. I can say that. It's not like everything was just 100%. After watching these, I do have, you know, a full gamut of like, yeah, this one was great. This one was kind of mid. This one was very bad. I don't know if you guys have that, but yeah, I'm there.
Well, yeah. I think I foresee the three of us having like a very different spread between a lot of these, maybe.
Well, at least a good conversation of like, yeah, I'm okay with it being in this position as long as it's kind of in that vicinity, you know. Or we'll have to you know, talk about it when we get there. But yeah, I foresee a lot of fun discussions to come up after we discuss this. After we discuss the remaining two, and yeah, if we're still open for other people to leave comments on other things, other nostalgic 80s or 90s. It doesn't matter at this point, really.
Yeah. This one was like, it's the early 90s, but it's basically the 80s still. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was 1990,
Yeah.
so it's like it's still.
He was in production in the
Basically,
80s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's got that spirit too.
Yeah,
It's
it
got that
really
spirit.
does. It's very much like we're in the 90s and we don't know what the vibe is yet, so we don't know how to handle ourselves. We're
Maybe
just gonna
90s
keep
is
on
going to be like health conscious and like earth
I was
conscious.
gonna
I don't
say
know.
like a decade really becomes the decade it is, like about halfway through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're coming out and decompressing from a previous decade in those first few years. You know.
yeah,
That's why
they're like
90s was
something else.
grunge.
we're gonna keep doing what we were doing, which is the 80s, and then it will become the 90s, and we don't know what that means yet.
Yep.
God, what a time! Like, yeah. So what if this was Ted Turner? What would that have been like?
TBS.
TBS.
It was broadcast on TBS.
Dang.
Turner Broadcasting System.
Yes. Good job.
No.
TBS is Turner Broadcasting.
Totally barnacle.
Totally
Bullshit.
Scrotum.
Totally bullshit.
tawdry butt stuff.
Ticklish butt.
Ticklish boys, sup?
Ticklish boys sup.
But I just
Tasty bologna sandwich.
I just can. I would be curious, like at TBS, like, because you can see like Gendy Tartakovsky, like just these different people moving from like studio to studio, or you can track their careers. Because we felt like, oh, this is like kind of similar animation style or visually to X-Men or certain things. I'd be curious to know a little bit more creatively on this show who was doing what.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
The banger of the outro that Broadshow called out.
Captain Planet, he's a hero.
It's one of those like Frasier where it's got the theme song at the end instead of the beginning.
It's like that. It's got that Frasier thing going for it. Where
It's got Frasier vibes, guys. It's so Frasier vibey.
Theme song
my
at
God.
the end. You just kind of get into it right away, and then you get the theme song at the end.
Can we break like tradition of what we've been doing for the thumbnails of this and just make it like the most clickbaity, like Frasier equals Captain Planet, or like, you know what I mean, like
With arrows and circles.
yeah, like circle Captain Planet, and then put a little like in another circle a picture of Niles or something, like pointing to Captain Planet.
And he's doing like the soy face, like, oh.
Or like you'll never believe how these two are connected. Or like, we gotta. Oh my god,
We'll
that's
see.
amazing.
We'll see.
I love it.
I'll do a. You can do a poll, or you can do like a most popular one. So like you can make two thumbnails,
Yeah.
and then it'll like kind of fluctuate, like the one that it clicks on most, and then like kind of usurp the other ones. So like we'll see what it like eventually becomes. So I'll make two, the original and the crazy clickbaity one, and see how it goes. All right, well, thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for our other episodes and our breakdown, our tier list, and everything like that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. 80s goodbye.
90s, early 90s goodbye.
Early days, goodbye.
Sup? No. What would Bart Simpson say as a farewell?
Eat my shorts.
Oh yes, I know, but I don't want to invite viewer to eat pant. I want to fucking say farewell.
Eat my goodbye.
Eat my adios.
Adios, muchachos.
I don't
Says
know.
El Barto.
Yeah, El Barto says, eat the beans.